Alright, seems good, homie. Good luck. So, the fearsomes concept is really, really straightforward. We have this idea of fearsomes, which is like, you know, it's pretty good. You run like fearsome cards and like this, and you know, it's like it's running Elise, and thanks for the sub, Coco Baggins. So, you know, there's this fearsomes build. For those of you guys who might not have seen this is actually kind of an older deck. Like the all-in fearsomes, Shadow Isles. God, this deck actually hasn't really been around for like a year. But usually you top into like Harrowing and win the game with it. And the thing that makes this deck a little bit different from before is the fact that you can splash Godwillow Seedling, which is really, really good for Frenzied Skitterer. Because, of course, if you've played a Fearsomes deck before, or even a Spiders deck, you'll know that Frenzied Skitterer is basically like the core of what Fearsomes is, right? The whole point of Fearsomes is to abuse this card because it, you know, it allows you to like set up for really big attacks and stop opponent blockers for happening, right? You can also use Godwillow on Mistwraith. Godwillow is funny on Mistwraith. I don't know how good it is, but it's definitely at least funny. But the thing is, I think this deck will kind of build itself a little bit. I don't think there's too much spicy you can do here for the most part. Like, you know, you're just running pretty standard, like good Shadow Isles cards after this. You can build it a little bit more spidery, you know, like you can run like Vile Feast or something depending on what you're trying to counter. Coom Beast. Yeah, Doom Beast is definitely a way to try to close out games often, you know, if the opponent gets low enough. Because, you know, you kind of run out of good Shadow Isles cards after a certain point. What else is good? I've seen some people try Soul Spinner, and I can tell you right now, Soul Spinner makes more sense than ever. But no. Yeah, that's Stalking Shadows. Yeah, back in the day, Stalking Shadows would have been good when I was, you know, 2 mana. Still sad about that nerf. Yeah, I mean, I think the core initial build is just going to be very, like, Mistwraith based. What's this card? Summon an Ephemeral Mistwraith? This card is such a joke. What the fuck is this card? Holy shit. God damn it. So what are we even in for here? I mean, right now we're mostly just looking to do a pretty aggressive draw into stuff like Cannon decks. Like, I think Fading Memories is pretty important in these kinds of lists. We can just run a basic shell that looks kind of like this. This is a fine place to start, I think. I don't think we need to do anything fancy. I'll mess around with, actually, should we do something fancy? Mark of the Isles is kind of a nice one over two of. Yeah, Mark of the Isles is a good way of pushing damage if the opponent is killing our units by running them out of health. It's definitely not bad. We can go down to like 2 Harrowings. I think like Harrowing is going to be pretty bad against Cannon versions. People are running like 1 or 2 denies there. Not even a lot. But Harrowing is also, I think, a pretty important way to win against Poppy style decks in my head. Although maybe it'll be a little too slow for that. I'll try something like this for now. Astral Fox is kind of considerable. Oh, I forgot to name it. Help me think of a funny name for this deck, guys. I can't think of anything right now. All right. What you guys got? Tearsome, Saplings, Treesome. God, these names are terrible, guys. These are so bad. Treesome. Guys, Treesome is such a bad name. I can't actually call this deck Treesome. This... I swear to God, dude. We can't... There's no way we can't think of something better than Treesome. Fuck it. Who the cares? Violis, huh? So I think you're just like going pretty early. You want some nice aggressive turns. Wraithcaller is an interesting card. Like often with Allegiance decks, you want to just keep the Allegiance card in your opening hand. I don't know if it's even worth doing here. I'm gonna keep Godwillow Seedling. I don't even think this keep is proper, but I want to like test out the conceit of this deck. It's Karina. Yeah, this is like the very old school like super control Karina deck. I mean, I doubt it's actually running Karina herself, but one can hope. But yeah, I mean, when you can do some like Godwillow stuff on your Skitterer or your Mistwraiths, you can definitely, you can have some really cute.
Well, I did say I wanted to see the world.
All right, so he has a pretty good Mystic. Nice. That would have been like a really, really sick spot for Mark of the Isles for sure. Risen Mist is so awkward. All right, I kind of hate Risen Mists. Like, kind of a lot actually. Like it's pretty unreal how much I dislike that card. I think I actually just want to develop the Skitterer now, honestly. It's kind of weird, but I have like reapplies for it later. Why Nocturne? It's just like an additional Skitterer. It might actually be a lot less good now that we have Godwillow Seedling though. So we want to build out like a little bit of a bigger board, and this dude's got fearsome blockers, so we start with Wraithcaller for sure. Hecarim would be better than Nocturne. Not in a deck like this, no. I mean, Nocturne might not end up making the cut, but you wouldn't run Hecarim either. Like, Hecarim is not leveling up. He's not really synergizing with anything. He gets blocked down. The entire point of Fearsomes is to devalue the blockers that the opponents are going to have, and we don't really have the ability to do that. That might have been one Fading Memories, by the way. I don't know how many like middling Fearsome blockers this guy is gonna even be using though. We don't really have much else to do. I'll wait here. Nocturne is so bad, no spell shields or quick attack. Yeah, if only Nocturne could allow you to discard your entire hand like that. That'd be sick. Alright, so how good is it to just use Godwillow Seedling on this Wraithcaller right now? Looks aight. It's not bad. But yeah, Godwillow Seedling is going to be really, really nice in this deck because it just has a lot of hits. Like, you're going to be able to hit a lot of things for value. It's never really going to be bricked because you can hit Wraithcaller, you can hit Skitterer, you can hit Mistwraith, which is really, really important. Like, it's not even that bad to use it on other weird things either. All right, seems good, homie. And I think we just like keep Mistwraithing this guy. Like, I'm just going to grow Mistwraiths. All right, and we'll have a pretty nice harrowing too. So yeah, I mean, I can play for like 2 Skitterers. Like, being able to harrowing off the Skitterer is nice. I don't think that really can be worth it. Like, right now we're just trying to get our Mistwraiths as big as possible and maximize value, right? So I don't think there's really much fancy to do. I don't mind just using the Onlooker this turn. I don't know, guys, this deck is not bad, but it's just, listen, that Rumble deck was really fun. I just want like an all-in deck. And I just can't do it because of Kennen. It's so sad. Old list used to run Callista. Ugh. Very old ones sometimes ran some amount of Callista. But no, it wouldn't be anymore. What about Retreat Return in this deck? It's a little too cute, I think. I don't think reducing allegiance odds is really worth it at this point. Double Vile Feast hand, okay. So I mean, the nice thing right now is basically all of these units have attacks. I think this is pretty good. I mean, he's got the full board. We need to trade on the board for harrowing anyway though.
Oh, dancing partner.
I feel strongly about 3 harrowing in any Ionia meta. Nocturne is too expensive for this deck and Unto Dusk is too inconsistent. I mean, you say that, but we're usually beating Kennen. I mean, I wouldn't call this an Ionia meta. I mean, that deck runs like 1, sometimes 2 denies, and they mulligan it away, and you're using it pretty early. I don't think that harrowing is bad in that matchup. If anything, it's pretty good there. So for the most part, I mean, we can try to use Skitterers offensively. Like right now, Homie doesn't really have that much of an attack anyway because we have the free Wraithcaller. It looks like we're just passing, huh? That's interesting. Yeah, managing board space is actually going to be one of the weird, tricky things for this deck. Because, I mean, you'll have to care about like your Godwillow coming out. It's actually going to get really, really tight on board space, especially with harrowing. So we're going to lean out of a lot of like cheaper things. All right. So, I mean, if we want to, we can try to like slap pressure with big Mistwraith. The fact that he lost that entire attack was kind of funny. Yeah, he'll have to block down pretty hard on the Risen Mist. I could just like Risen Mist into this open attack. That's not bad. I don't think I really have anything else. I just want the board to trade down so we can start doing things with harrowing, really. Double Skitter. Double Skitter doesn't do a lot here because his units... I mean, we're not pushing anything out of fearsome range by doing that, right? I like just open attacking here. The Arachnoid Horror still not getting in it, I guess. Maybe it's time. I mean, we have harrowing. It might be time. Like, if he blocks to the Buru, I think we just have to be okay with that at this point. You're still not streaming audio when alt-tabbing? Yeah, I've tried to tell Riot to fix that bug, but it's taking them a while. So, you know, listen, I agree. It would be nice if that bug was fixed. We all agree on that, my friend. So, what is this guy's deck? Because I don't know if he actually has like a legitimate win condition. That's interesting. Okay. As someone who has played League for years, do not hold your breath for a bug fix. Yeah, that's kind of true. How bad is it to Fading Memories this Wraith color? I guess this is actually probably my best Fading Memories right now. Like, we're not really looking at clone Skitters in this matchup. We're just looking to, like, beef up the board with more value than he can have. And Wraithcaller does a pretty good job at that. Right. Alright. So we're, let's just, you know, we're 1-0 with this deck. You know, it's not bad. Good start. Good start. Right now, the biggest problem with this current version of the list, we're a little bit vulnerable in like the early turns of the game. Like a hand like that, if we have like nothing really to play proactively on turn 3, it gets a little bit awkward, and we don't really have a lot of curves on 3 either. We don't often want to be banking mana on turns like that where we could be setting up proactive turns. I like Mark of the Isles in any meta that's gonna be like ping heavy removal. That'll be stuff like Mystic Shot or maybe like Pokey Stick kind of stuff too. And there's a decent amount of Pokey Stick right now, especially in one of the decks that we're trying to beat. Right now, the biggest problem for this deck is being able to like beat Yordles. And those turns are really going to be crucial for winning the game, right? So we're going to need to be able to set up some better value on like turn 2 and turn 3, really, right? Like we need more 2-drops to be able to play. There's not really a lot. I've messed around with the idea of running like the Sentinels in the Fearsome deck, and I think it would just have to be a little too different, especially in this version. I mean, you can try to... Yeah, this is kind of Fearsome's biggest weakness, and it's why people have experimented with Callista a little bit in the past. I mean, Soul Spinner would be so good for this deck if it wasn't such a bad card. Like, this card is in theory perfect. It's like Spider, Fearsome, 3-drop, but like when you actually read the card, it's literally just unplayable. Mask Mother. So Mask Mother is not bad for Fearsome decks, and sometimes it can trigger some abilities. In this case, we're not really looking to trigger anything from it, and there's nothing we really want to make Fearsome, right? It's just a little bit weak. But it's a good way of being able to gain value out of some of the ephemerals that you're getting from, for example, Godwillow Seedling. It's not bad. I think being able to eat the ephemerals is pretty solid. Although, at that point, your opponent is often getting their attack in. I think it would be a low quantity of Mask Mother. It could be 1 or 2. It really doesn't help the problem that we have of making these hands weaker. You can eat Ephemeral. So what else can we do with Ephemeral units apart from eating them with Mask Mother? That's pretty much it, right? Like, using Glimpse on them isn't really that good. You can eat them with like Dragon, I guess, which is pretty much just a little bit too expensive for how this deck wants to go. Chronicler is a funny way of taking Ephemeral off, but yeah, just a little bit too expensive. I wouldn't mind putting one Mask Mother in this deck. Unto Dusk is maybe a little bit slow for what we're going for here. I'll go back to 3 Harrowing for now. I think it helps a little bit too much with the problem matchups. I actually don't really know if we need Doom Beast that much the way this deck is built. I think I'll go for 2 Mark, 2 Fading, and 2 Doom Beast. Looks like pretty good balance here. All right, so this is Lulu Poppy. In theory, this is kind of the disaster matchup. They're attacking in 4, which means we've got a good Wraithcolor curve. So I think it's just easy keep Mistwraith, keep Wraithcolor. Wraithcolor is a better defensive card than it is an offensive card in this matchup that's board based. So having it on hand for their turn 4 attack is going to be important. Like, it punishes the development hard, especially when we've already committed a Mistwraith. All right. Twin Disciplines? Twin could be. Right now, I mean, while I'm still in Wraithcolor, the Allegiance odds are really, really, really hard to not value. Like, I'd be really, really hesitant to do anything that might lower Allegiance odds. So I could actually open attack with Risen Mist next turn, and I'm actually very inclined to do that. It's a little bit weird, but it jams in 6, and it makes the Mistwraiths that we're getting off of Wraithcolor are going to be 4, which is super important. So we've got a hand that just jams it in. Honestly, I do like Fearsomes. Fearsomes are literally just like Shadow Isles elusives. Double Pokey? Okay. Yeah, Mystic is fine. So what is he running? He's running Lulu Poppy, but instead of rallies, it's like burn over the top. All right, seems good. So there's Poppy. Here's Wraithcolor. Hello. And yeah, it's pretty good. Wow. What? What? Wait. Excuse me? Okay. I mean, looks like you have to attack here. Alright, I mean, if you're not going to turn this into a fearsome blocker, I think you've got a problem this game, mister. I think you might have needed to turn that into a fearsome blocker. That's interesting. Like, imagine if I had Stygian Onlooker to go with my Nocturne right now. Could literally just win the game. Why is Nocturne such a bad card? I think, honestly, just like Nocturning the Poppy plays around a really big lose condition. Like, I think setting up the Nocturne here kind of has to be worth it, right? Like, Tree and Wraithcolor is kind of nice for value, but I think my lose condition is literally just like letting this Poppy attack, right? Like, Godwillow also doesn't really curve with anything this turn. I'm pretty sure it's just Nocturne here, right? Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be. This has to be safer. We also kind of want to use Godwillow on defensive turns a little bit more than offensive turns here. Ooh, that's kind of adorable. Okay. That's like a little bit of a counter. Yeah, I mean, we do want something to Godwillow, so we want to trade off something that doesn't really matter. I guess I just trade off one of the Mistwraiths then, right? Yeah, this looks pretty good. I don't think we need to really do anything else. These are like more perma-buffed. I guess like Nocturne forcing a trade isn't even that bad, even if it's with twins. I mean, this Bomber Twins is a 4-3. It does kind of seem like pretty much maximum value. Like, if I just force his deck to trade down, I think I always win. Yeah, I don't really see any way I don't just win by doing this. Like, we just want to starve him out of value and rely on Godwillow Seedling. And I think we can just outstarve him. Why not drag Poppy with Nocturne? Because then I can't force the trade, because my Mistwraith can't attack because he has a 5 attack blocker. All right, and now we've got the good Godwilla Seedling. We really want to set these up on defense, I think. Because they basically just ruin entire attacks. That's nice. Yeah, Harrowing might actually get a little bit worse just because of Seedling, honestly. It's great. Like, Seedling does give such good value that you might not even really have that empty of a board for the finish. Why is Kindred bad? Very expensive, forces you to pre-commit, comes down on the wrong turn of the game where you want to be removing opponent's small threats. She's kind of like a Rel the Tracker, I guess, in that way. Ooh, okay. So, yeah, I mean, here, Homie still doesn't have pretty much any attack here. So, I'm fine just kind of passing this. I could play the Loping Telescope first. Like, they'll be able to drag one of my Mistwraiths and kill it. That's about it. Alright, so we're getting another Godwilla Seedling on defense next turn. We can just, take the Free Glimpse now. Looks good. Atrocity instead? Ooh, Atrocity might actually be better in this build. That's so funny. Because we're summoning so many Mistwraiths so reliably. Yeah, Atrocity might actually be better than Harrowing all of a sudden. That's hilarious. Yeah, it might have to be. Yeah, I think this deck is solid. And it should do pretty well into Cannon as well. Yo, thanks for the sub, Ressi. So yeah, there's the redundant Harrowing. Yeah, I think it actually is just Atrocity over Harrowing. That's crazy. And right now, I mean, we can just push a little bit of additional damage. Like, forcing his Fearsome blockers out is kind of not bad. I think it's just like Telescope into Nocturne. Okay. How is Atrocity better? We're basically always gonna have a board and it can just end the game. Oh, we got poked. That's a shame. I mean, we did basically have a chance at trying to push huge damage there. I think there's literally no reason to do anything though. I think I literally just keep playing Wraith Colors until this guy just loses to my big Mistwraiths. Like, I don't know. It is kind of funny to Nocturne here. I get damage in, but like if I just have big Mistwraiths, do I need damage? I don't see how I could. Nocturne needs quick attack. Nocturne would be so sick if he wasn't so bad. I mean, Wraith Color doesn't even have an attack here. Okay. I mean, I'm literally getting a full board next turn. This is funny. I'm just like taking attacks like this. These attacks are terrible, but like I need to free up space on my board against Bandle, guys. I'm against Bandle City and I'm trying to free up space on my board for his space on his board because I actually just have too much value. Like like, do you guys know how crazy that is? What the compare your hand sizes? Yeah, look at how big this guy's on a two card hand. You just get like, what does he even do here? I'm just gonna keep playing more Wraith Colors. All right, seems good, homie. Good luck. I mean, I'll just draw another one. And yeah, Mask Commander is definitely a good way of getting like value out of the Ephemeral if we wanted it. I mean, he doesn't really have much of an attack here anyway. Yeah, I mean, I guess, doesn't he like need to attack here? If he doesn't attack here, he's kind of losing, right? Yeah, no, he's completely out of this one. All right. So Poppy Zed, this is the pretty standard like old elusives. Yeah, kind of not good for us. No, this guy has bettered us. He's just a superior player. All right, so we've lost one at this point to a superior Zed Poppy Elusives player. That one, literally nothing we can do. So this one's Bandle Tree. Going big for the fearsome keyword is really nice. I like being able to try to get a turn to attack in with Elise. I can curve it with, you know, just like wide fearsome board after that. I think it's important to go for power tools, but anything that doesn't have the fearsome keyword is kind of useless in this matchup, and I do want to get it in early and aggressive. I think I'll actually keep the horror in the Elise. I'll keep this and see what happens. And the really cute thing is that, and part of why Elise is important, is because Elise's flip is sometimes a win condition in this deck. It's not going to be that common, but when Elise flips in hands like this, she can. When Elise flips, she kind of goes nuts. My spider. Oh, that was weird. Game just decided whether it was going to give me the spider or not for a second. All right, so we're gonna set up for a turn where Frenzied Skitterer is gonna be, you know, how we're ending the game. We do need to slow play a little bit, so the spider might have to block a telescope if he actually decides to attack with telescope. He definitely has a decent attack with Bomber Twins. I mean, I guess the Callista's fine here. All right, let's see how this Callista does. Don't get me wrong, it's not a listen. Callista and Nocturne are basically on the same level. Both of these champs suck. All right, I don't really want to run either of these champs, but we're also just out of good cards. It's possible we could lower the allegiance odds a little bit, but I'm really, really scared of doing that. So the cannon attack here is either a bluff or he just has group shot. I mean, it's a free bluff opportunity for him. Like if I block and he group shots, we basically lose the game. I don't think I could block this. I also think I have to be the aggressor here. We're on a clock to kill him. I have a pretty good Frenzied Skitterer into Stygian Onlooker next turn. Yeah, I think we're just chilling here. Add Zed instead. Zed would be kind of funny. Don't get me wrong. Zed would be hilarious. All right, can I do anything funny with Godwillow Seedling right now? Dude, are there some hands where like Stygian Onlooker with Godwillow Seedling can actually be huge? That's so stupid. There are actually hands like that though, right? There will be some weird turn 4s. I'm attacking on 4, and I'll have an onlooker that already attacked on 2, and I'll do like seedling into second onlooker into third onlooker on 6. That's so funny. Holy. All right, I guess I just open with my Skitterer. I can Godwillow this Skitterer later. So yeah, this is where Godwillow is gonna try to win us the game on turn 6 by just Godwillowing the Skitterer and denying him the ability to block any of my units. It doesn't trigger Nightfall. You're right. Yeah, Nightfall is only on play. Oh, right. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Good call, guys. Good catch. Real answer is Ahri. Ahri would be really bad in this deck, unfortunately. Just play the poopy, dude. Yeah, he's running the good Sentry version. Ugh. Well, my deck can't beat a deck like that. So we get good chip. I think Mark of the Isles. I actually think Mark of the Isles might actually be a 3 of in this one. Like this one is much more aggressive than like the older harrowing versions, honestly. So I can still flip my Elise. My Elise is actually flipping even if the Skitterer attacks here. If the Skitterer attacks, I mean, if he has literally half a brain, like even a half a brain, he'll block the Skitterer, which would be really, really sad for me. I actually don't think he can block the Onlooker, so I think I keep the Skitterer because I want to Godwillow it, especially because I'm flipping the Elise and summoning the Crawling Sensation this turn. So it actually is a solo attack here. That's interesting. Wow, and he just blocks my unit that doesn't even have Fearsome with his Fearsome blocker. Okay, well maybe I don't even need to Godwillow Seedling then. All right. And we have a potential flipped Elise. Super, super good. If I could just run 6 Elises instead of my other champions, I would, guys. Listen. Elise is much better than any of these. I agree. Alright, so right now, I mean, we're actually happy to just race this guy down. If he does a Poppy, like, I actually am kind of big chilling. Yeah, I'm kind of huge chilling. This is a large chill. I don't even think I need to do anything here, right? I don't think I could care about this Poppy. I think we just set up to try to kill him next turn. It is Bandletree, right? Like, we are on a clock to accelerate. Right now, he's threatening a total of, what is that, 14 damage? Why the f is that 14 damage? Excuse me? I mean, I could Sealing the Skitterer now and stop his entire attack, but it's kind of important to use the Skitterer on the offensive turn, I think. Like, I could just play the Horror, block one of them, and then set up the Godwilla Seedling on the Skitterer next turn. Which is not bad, but it also costs an action, which is very, very awkward. Huh. Maybe I actually have to slow play this. This is a super weird position. I could also just, like, Glimpse instead. Save tree. Yeah, I think I might just save the tree. But I do need to kill his board. Yeah, I think that was a Glimpse that turn. Like, I don't think there's really any reason to develop the Horror here. I don't know, it's so weird. Like, maybe I actually do just win by trading down the board. Like, Godwillow Seedling does give me a lot of value. It really, so much of this play depends on, like, what's under the Glimpse in my hands. So, I could just block like this to stay alive. I mean, this is a perfectly fine block. Next turn, I have Godwillow Seedling on the Skitterer, which is a bit of a wasted development, but we're still pushing a ton of damage to that, and will beat anything that's not Atrocity, and he has no over the top. We'll kill the Poppy then. All right, I'll go for it. I'll try this. I'm honestly, Godwillow Seedling is a weird card to play for. It's very strange. So the Ephemeral Skitterer can work here. I mean, we can literally just lethal him if I just override the tree with the other Skitterer. The question is, how reliable would that be? If he plays a 3-attack unit right now, he's giga trolling. This combo is nuts. Yeah, guys, this combo is literally crazy. Like, Godwillow Seedling leads to some cracked hands in this deck. It's very, very good. I like this fearsome deck. I like it when the opponent just can't block my big dumb units. And I mean, the Poppy's getting threatened either way, so even if he's like dodging the lethal, this like 4-attack Ephemeral Skitterer can just like throw itself into the Poppy. Sure, I'll just go for this. It might have like a second Arachnoid Sentry. Alright. Good luck, dude. Mini-Morph Elise. Yep, he could stop everything from getting fearsome. I mean, if he spends this entire turn mini-morphing Elise, I think I'm just good. The funny thing is, if he mini-morphs Elise, he kind of has to do it right now so that the Skitterer can't challenge the Poppy. Like, he should do it before I attack. And I think that's probably what he's realizing. He's like, should I mini-morph before the attack? Yeah, I think I'll mini-morph before this attack. Like, oh, he got there. Oh, he didn't get there. Whoa. Hey, that's kind of funny. I mean, it still has Challenger. I mean, it's not Ephemeral anymore. That's hilarious. But I mean, I guess he's saving his Poppy. So this is fascinating. That could be one of a few things. Like, maybe he could be trying to bait me into going for lethal and then he mini-morphs Elise. How much damage is this? Looks like a ton to me. All right, so we do this. And I mean, we're denied lethal to like Pokestick or anything, and the Poppy survives. I guess we do have to slow play this, unfortunately. So we just like skip the lethal and trade down the board. Like, he's not treeing that fast. So yeah, we literally just force trade the entire board and then just kill him on the next turn. Sad. Oh well, guess it's what we have to do. Why pull her at all? I mean, okay, then there's the alternative consideration of just swinging. I mean, we beat hands that don't have mini-morph? Guys, that's terrible. What? That sounds awful, homies. Listen, look, guys, you know how much I like a good... Okay. The thing is, okay, so Bandletree is a deck that puts you on a clock, right? Like, you do have to kill them fairly quickly, but... I mean, we're not on that much of a clock. Like, we still have another couple of turns to kill him here, right? Like, we're gonna have one more attack, and that attack will be enough. We don't have to, like, make a play where we auto-lose to mini-morph. It's just completely unnecessary. Oh, hey, Third Elise. What's up? Wouldn't they have used the Minimorph from the last action though? No, it's very like once they Equinox the Skitterer, they're like they still have Minimorph mana and it's not getting threatened by the Poppy's Challenger anymore because it has 3 attack instead of 4. So they could have literally just been baiting me to try to go for lethal and then they Minimorph and win the game next turn. That's super, super easy for them to do. Like, if anything, the fact that he used Equinox instead of, like, playing a unit or anything else, if anything, that could increase the odds that they have Minimorph. Like... Alright. Well, this was a good game. I do kind of like the Coon Beast here. Like, it doesn't really need to be a Coon Beast, but it is. I mean, he doesn't really have any way of, like, killing off our cards. I mean, I guess I'll just police. What? Okay. So I need to develop units that have more health, basically. So, I mean, I guess I'll just do this. Because we need to open attack for lethal in ways that don't get shut down by like weird, like triple pokey stick hands, right? Alright, seems good. I've played Hearthstone for years and I know a lethal when I see one, bro. You missed it. Take the L. What the f? Alright. Why the 3-1 and not a 1-1? I don't know. It's BM value, guys. We literally... There's no... Guys, like, okay. I could do it on a 1-1. If you name to me a hand state where that could possibly matter, I'll give you VIP. The thing is, like, I'm not playing for value. I'm like calculating the odds of any combination of cards you could have in hand. And like once I'm at 100%, I'll just click any button that lines for that 100%. Like, I also need to overwrite the damaged one for Flock as well. But like the Flock doesn't even matter either. Like, you could say Flock, but we're not losing to any hand as long as we're developing both units there before the open attack. We beat any combination of hands, right? Like, we needed 8 damage, 6 after Doom Beast. The Doom Beast was guaranteed to go off. He had no more cards that turn. We're going to open attack, which rules out a lot of things. He can't stop the Challenger with something like Minimorph because we're open attacking. Elise has 4 attack. We need to get 3 through. And all we need to do is beat hands that have, like, triple Pokey Stick or triple Pokey Stick Flock, right? And you just, like, play the cards that beat those hands. Like, you're not playing for value. You're playing for probability. And a lot of the times, value and probability align, but a lot of the times they don't. Also, Nocturne feels bad. I don't want to run more Callistas. God. Okay. What if... Is there an Ionia card that's actually worth ripping my allegiance odds here? Just because all these Shadow Isles cards are so bad. Okay, I kind of hate these Ionia cards too. Zed. Zed is alright for this deck. He wouldn't be bad. I don't think this deck really needs Zed in the same way that an Elusive's deck might. It's really, really, really important to understand like how these decks are playing and what they're doing. All right, let's break this down. So, okay. Because I want to talk about deck building. I want you guys to be able to like watch me and become better deck builders. And this is like fairly advanced, but really, really important to explain what I'm about to explain. Okay, so the reason Zed doesn't really do much in this deck is because part of the point of Zed, a large part of the point of, okay, let's explain this the other way. A large part of the point of Fearsomes is to devalue opponent's trump blockers, right? Like the point of Fearsomes is to say, I'm going to take this card that you have and I'm going to make it 0 value, right? And that's a way to win the game. Everything that you are trying to get value out of in every strategy, you should be thought as a function of what it can devalue from the opponent's side, right? Now, Zed uniquely gives chump blockers value in ways that my Fearsomes are devaluing anyway, right? So by that logic, now the next step is, well, by that logic swim, then why do Elusives run Zed deck? Because like, for example, your Zed Poppy Elusives is very, very good deck right now, and it has been, and it's run Zed, and it always runs Zed. Well, there's 2 reasons for that. First of all, the most important thing to understand about what Zed works in a deck like this is that Zed is basically a defensive card. Like, Zed is not really offensive. Zed is a card that forces the opponent to block and lose attackers, right? And that's something that can race down opponents that are also going fast. Like, Zed is a card to slow the opponent down. It doesn't really speed up your own strategy because your opponent is blocking with things that can't do anything anyway, except attack. because the opponent can't block with their other cards. They can only attack with them. Zed forces them to block with them, turning Zed is basically a defensive card. So Zed is a card that is better for if we need help in those matchups where we're trying to race the opponent down, and Zed forces them to block because he threatens to win the race, and that means that Zed can allow you to race down decks like that, right? The second reason Zed is decent in that deck is, of course, because that deck runs rallies, and rallies are a lot better with Zed. We don't have rallies in the Fearsome deck, right? We don't have access to rallies, right? But the first point is really, really important, because if you look at how the Fearsome deck is built and how we're trying to play the game, we are not as starved for defense as the elusive deck, right? Like the elusive deck has basically no blockers, right? There's no unit we really want to block with here. Brightsteel Protector is basically our like one defensive play, and it only really works if the opponent develops into us, right? Like we want to be attacking with all of our units. We don't want to be blocking with any of them. Fearsomes, well, we don't really need that help. Skitterer can sometimes just shut down entire attacks if the opponent's playing an aggro deck. Doombeast is really good in burn decks, just being able to drain the Nexus and provide a blocker, right? We also have just like multi-units with Wraithcaller and stuff like that, and we play for a little bit in the earlier game. Like we outvalue because we have a lot of value engines, like Wraithcaller, which is a 2-for-1 in Godwillow Seedling, which means unlike the elusive deck, this deck can afford to block down. Look at this elusive deck. Greenglade Duo can't really block, right? You just have to race, and that's why Zed's really important in that deck. In this deck, well, I mean, you can block. Like, we have so much value off of Wraithcaller and Godwillow Seedling and things that are generating multiple units or things that are coming in play with effect, that if I just keep blocking the opponent down, we'll still win, right? So this deck has the ability to block unlike elusives, and that's why Zed just isn't as important. And of course, allegiance odds are a given here. Like I don't want to ruin allegiance odds, but like it's important to understand that deck building is so much more about like this idea of evaluating things in a vacuum. Is like it's so complex to think about, like the way your deck is playing and the way it interfaces with the opponent's decks you expect to see, right? But like because of all those, Zed really doesn't make anywhere close to as much sense here as he does in elusives, even though like at first glance it seems kind of the same, right? It seems like, oh, well, you know, Fearsomes they can't block and elusives they can't block, so let me put Zed in my Fearsomes deck, right? It's not the same at all.